What's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you guys for joining me on Nights with Nikki. I got my IG, as you guys can see my phone. Let me try to turn it ain't that important. Y'all know phones are phones are phones. Push it back a little bit. What's happening, everybody? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? It's so good to see everybody. Thank y'all for joining me again for another Nights with Nikki. There's a lot going on out here in these entertainment industry streets, and tonight's we are getting into C. Dolores Tucker. We are talking about P. Diddy. I always call him Puff. Somebody reminded me today. I keep saying Puff, and that's just because I'm, you know, a 90s veteran, and we know him as Puff. It's just ingrained. But we are definitely going to talk about the latest with Diddy and what is happening in black music. It's so much, you guys. What you were just listening to is a clip from Madam C. Dolores Tucker. And for those of you who don't know, it's interesting. My husband, I ain't wearing no earrings tonight. Y'all ain't tell me I had my earrings on, but whatever. We ain't got no earrings tonight. Oh well. My husband made a really great point of letting me know that not everyone will know who C. Dolores Tucker is. Right? So, just to give you a little bit of background, I had this pulled up. I always go to Wikipedia so we don't, forget anything. But C. Dolores Tucker she is now among the ancestors. But C. Dolores Tucker was an American politician and civil rights activist. She had a long history of involvement in the American Civil Rights Movement. She was the Secretary of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania from 1971 to 1977. From the 1990s onward, she engaged in a campaign against gangsta rap music. She was born in Philly. She had a long history with the civil rights movement. Early on, her civil rights activities included participating in the 1965 Selma and Montgomery marches, as you've heard, with Dr. Martin Luther King. And she took on the hip hop and the rap industry. So let me just first start off this live by saying I apologize for the post that I made last night with Madam C. Dolores Tucker. And in the post, I stated that hip hop had done a number on our country. And I need to clarify that because a lot of people are like, hold on, wait up, because, hold up, because hip hop is not just a lot of what we've been seeing in the press lately. Hip hop is also Queen Latifah, MC Lyte, LL Cool J, Biz Markie, so many other great hip hop artists. And I think that I learned a lesson in generalizing. A lot of times we get frustrated because we feel like people lump us into a group and we don't necessarily fall into that category. And I want to apologize to all my favorite hip hop artists because I'm a huge hip hop fan and representing Notorious B. Coogee sweater now, living better now. What? Every with a Coogee. Okay, let me stop. But yes, hip hop goes beyond gangster rap, drill rap, this Diddy fiasco. But we would be remiss if we weren't real about the impact that rap, all sorts of rap, has had on our community. So today we learned that Diddy's bail was denied. Y'all, I know it's a lot of people celebrating. Matter of fact, let me go to Tiffany Red. I'm gonna go to Tiffany Red because initially, when I found out that Diddy's bail was denied, my husband and I were going on a walk, and we just kind of like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Because be clear that karma and justice in the universe is no joke. Ultimately, you're gonna have to pay the piper. Ultimately, you're gonna have to repent for your sins, whatever, right? But when you think about somebody as powerful and someone who has such an impact on the community as Diddy, I kind of got a little bit of a jolt like, damn, Diddy is like in jail. And then naturally, what most people go to once you say, oh, shoot, they denied his bail, Diddy is in jail, you go to, well, look at what happened to Epstein, right? I am going to go out on a limb and say this. And I hope, and I'm going to get into Tiffany Red, who is a huge activist in music, and she's really trying to do a lot of positive things, and she, is connected to Cassie. So I'm gonna get into her thing, and some other friends that I've talked to in the industry, we're all just dumbfounded. We're flabbergasted because it's like Diddy, this situation with Diddy is like, how you got a cousin or a relative or even a child as a parent, right? You there's someone you love or somebody that you care about, and they go and they do something really stupid, like really dumb. And you're like, oh my gosh, why the hell did you do that, dumbass? And then you discover that there's a whole nother part of this person that you never knew existed, right? People in the industry deserve the time to process what's really actually happening. It's not about us giving Diddy a pass. It ain't about us making excuses for they trying to keep the black man down, right? It's just we weren't aware that all of this, you always hear whispers, right? Kind of like with the R. Kelly thing. It was whispers in the industry for a long time on that R. Kelly thing. And it's kind of like, that people aren't always doing the right thing, but when you see it on video and then you start hearing about everything that has happened to all of these people, you just be like, damn, I had no idea. And people deserve the opportunity to process that. Diddy was connected to a lot of people. Diddy had a lot of friends friends, we use that word loosely, right? A lot of us are learning the older that we get that these motherfuckers what friends. But like your mama used to tell you, them ain't your friends. You know what I mean? Somebody should tell these people in this industry, them ain't your friends. Because people are finding out the hard way. But needless to say, Diddy is someone who hung out with the best of them, right? I'm not going to start blasting people, but I've just been seeing a lot of clips of Diddy and celebrities and people that we know and we love. And we have a pretty good idea. Might not be into all of that crazy shit. But I guess this is a lesson for all of us that you never know. You never know what people are doing behind closed doors. So I just want to challenge all of us to like really process what is happening right now. This Diddy thing is so much bigger than just, he got it. Look what he did to Cassie. It's so much bigger than that. And there's so many people who are going to be impacted, good, bad, or indifferent. People are going to be impacted by this Diddy thing. And it is scary how this industry is going to change. And if y'all don't believe this industry is going to change, don't believe me, just watch. Because he had a lot of connections in this industry, had a lot of relationships in this industry. He built a lot of careers in this industry. He was responsible for a lot of the culture, right? Like we said on a live last night, our culture has been established by 90s, a lot of 90s hip hop. Obviously hip hop has been around for much longer than the 90s. It's been around for 50 years, right? But when you think about all the artists that have been touched by him, when you think about all the labels that are benefiting and will continue to benefit, which is a big thing that I want to make a note. That's a big thing I want to get into tonight, because bottom line is it's going to take, y'all know how they say it takes a village. It's going to take a village for us to get through this. So, it is a little shocking that Diddy is behind bars. Obviously, the feds know what they're doing. Victims should always be protected and should be believed, because it's a dangerous game you play in when you start to question whether or not the victims are telling the truth. I think the Cassie Ventura case showed all of us that we didn't know what the hell we were talking about when we were talking about, oh, she just out here on a money grab, because clearly this man did a whole lot of horrible shit that he has to pay for. So I'm still processing that the industry is going to be different. Hopefully different in a good way. I'm praying that it's different in a good way. I believe that he is right where he is supposed to be, right? For a lot of reasons. This is a good time to really process and like really dig deep and really pray about what happens during this trial. Um, really try to figure out how to get your soul right, how to get things right for your children and your family. You know, I can't even imagine what this man must be thinking right now to go from living in the lap of luxury and yachts and private jets and living his life in such a big, out loud, Diddy way to now being in a cell, state property, meaning you have lost all power and control over yourself. And I just don't even understand what he must be thinking. I'm sure that that must be a really tough situation to be in. I can't, I mean, for anybody, right? For anybody. But when you've been on top of the world for most of your life, most of your adult life anyway, and then you end up getting locked up and you are now state property. I pray for his children. And for those of you who get an attitude when people say I'm praying for his family and I'm praying for his kids, y'all better think about your own damn kids. Y'all better think about your own damn family. Y'all better think about your own damn friends. Because all of us are human and all of us are capable of making horrible mistakes as individuals that ultimately end up affecting innocent people in our lives. So before you jump on the whole, but what about the victims? What about bump his kids? His kids was that's sick, that's twisted, that's selfish, and that's karma. These kids did not participate, these children, these young adults, not that we know of, they're not being brought up on charges for it. And all that speculation and innuendo, I've been in this industry long enough to know that you just don't pay attention to it because it just always ends up being nothing, right? Charges, court cases, all that stuff is real and tangible, and he has to deal with it. So I'm praying for his family. I'm praying for all of his friends and people who thought he was cool and discovered that he had a lot of really, really terrible habits. And that's got to be embarrassing for folks who, you know, have been hanging out with him. You know, everybody who went to a Diddy party didn't participate in the freak off. I said last night I went to a couple. Now, after the second one, I realized that's not where I belonged. So I never went back. But also I wasn't in that circle like that. You know, I was cool with everybody. I'm kind of a person, contrary to popular belief, I'm kind of a person that is kind of cool with everybody in the industry. I don't really have beef with folks like that. People treat me with respect because I walk with respect and I demand it in every space I go in. My issues and my problems are not with a lot of artists and creatives in the industry. It is with a much bigger, more powerful enemy, right? And that is the corporation that believes that we are not worthy of being treated like we deserve. I'll say that. Getting into some of these comments. Hello. Why is everything so teeny tiny? Let me bring this up a little bit. I don't know why things are so small. Okay, this comment is from Latanya Wynn. Hello to you, my sister. I definitely remember who C. Dolores Tucker is. She was an advocate for civil rights. PJ said hip hop is the correct term. It's interesting because some people on my live was like, no, you hit it right. Other people was like, get that shit straight. And I'm going to get into that. Let me get into that right now while we're talking, as a matter of fact. Actually, you know, gangster hip hop and drill rap or gangster rap or whatever and drill rap is much different than hip hop. And, you know, you don't want people giving us blanket statements talking about black people are so, or divas are so, or black women are so, right? So I think we have to be specific about who we're talking about. And what I was talking about was not hip hop as an umbrella. I was talking about rap and gangster rap and misogynist lyrics and all the things that Madam C. Dolores Tucker was talking about. In fact, I think that's one of the reasons why her message was hard for people to follow and to embrace, because as older people, we tend to be very, that's what I said, it is what it is, and oh well, if you don't like it, lump it, right? Tough love, you know, it's a whole thing, right? But I think in order for us to really communicate with younger generations of people, we have to be willing to correct ourselves, and we have to be willing to understand that, everybody doesn't fall into a category of bad or toxic or destructive or having done a number on our community, um, under that hip hop umbrella. Those subsets or subcategories of hip hop are what I'm talking about. And what's really interesting is that for years, right? Let's unpack that a little bit. For many, many years, we have been in situations where men, lots of times misogynist ones, right, um, have controlled this industry. Their perspective on music, their perspective on what you wear, their perspective on what sells, what reaches the people. Men have always controlled that. And a lot of times you guys hear me come on my lives and talk about cultural incompetence and culturally incompetent men. And I say that because you expect Black men to have a better understanding of what the Black community wants to see. Non-Black men controlling everything is the problem that I have, right? I have a problem with anything being completely controlled by one gender or another. It shouldn't be all controlled by women. It shouldn't all be controlled by men. But see, Dolores Tucker says something really interesting about the founding mothers and how different things would have been had we had founding mothers. The entertainment industry is flat out built on misogyny and corporate greed. And because of that, people like Puffy have been allowed for years to do what he has been allowed to do for years, which is pump these narratives about being hypersexual, partying, drinking, liquor, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. He hasn't done it by himself because there's a whole world of other people in hip hop, gangster rap, R&B that participate in it as well. But when did the entertainment industry become a place to sell all of this toxic, destructive lifestyle? Growing up, entertainment was about art, music, knowing how to sing, knowing how to write beautiful songs, dressing up, conducting yourself as a lady in a positive way. Now it is really the polar opposite. And it's because year after year after year, we've seen these images and these narratives. Let's go back. Let's go back to Lil' Kim, right? Let's go there. Let me warn you guys in advance. Hold on, let me get my comic books and rubber bands. Only Detroit people know that. Remember when you were a kid? Well, part of you still is. And that's why let me fix it right. Make Faygo. I got Faygos. Baby, Sam's Club got Faygos. I got some Faygos because I need a little sugar because I'm tired. For those people who are from Detroit, y'all know what this is. And if you're not from Detroit and you can get your hands on some Faygo from Sam's Club, listen. Baby, ain't nothing like a Faygo. Ain't nothing like, hey, Pam, I see you. Come on with the Faygo, baby. Come on with the Faygo. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Shout out, you guys. Make sure she has far more followers than I do on YouTube and all of these platforms. But make sure you're following Pam Esquire, the Law Intellect. She happens to be from Detroit. I had no idea. I recently found out that she was from the city of Detroit. So that's why she knows what this whole Faygo business is all about, honey. And it's got the right. Baby, I'm about to be back in the D. Well, Pam, we're going to chat because I'll be back in the D. Let me get the formalities out of the way. Please, you guys, pray. My sister has another surgery. I'm going to say it every single time I get on live. My sister's fighting brain cancer. She's brave. She's a warrior. She's the reason why I can go forward in all of these things without fear, knowing that you only live once and what you don't want to do is die with the truth in you. So when you have an opportunity to share it, share it. Yeah, that red pop is crazy. Shout out to all my Detroit people. I have to get the also please press the like button. I'm building up this little YouTube channel, this big YouTube channel. Let me watch how I say it. Really excited because I feel like it's giving me the freedom to really express myself. And listen, baby, we're YouTube partners now. So please be sure, feel froggish, leap on into that Cash App, baby. Fago and Verners. All right, let me get back into this. Little Kim, when we start, so let me give y'all tales of the 90s, I guess. We'll go into that, right? All of us from the 90s who enjoyed that whole bad boy moment, you got it going on. What? I used to be scared of it. Now I throw lips to the handle it like a real, okay? Heather Hunter, Janet Jack me. Then there's some lyrics that we probably shouldn't have been singing. And that is my point, right? When you start thinking about Diddy and Dre and Master P and Jay and Ice, all of these young testosterone driven hip hop, I'm just going to say what I got to say, brothers out here. There was definitely it was very misogynistic and very degrading to women and very inappropriate and very not what you want to share with your parents and your grandparents and your aunties. And it feels like that energy once the labels, right? We gonna get somewhere. Y'all know I'll be a little long-winded, but we gonna get there. Once the labels started to see how the music, and more important than just the music and the lyrics, but the lifestyle, when they started to see how the lifestyle was accepted by young minds, they just poured more money and more opportunity and more resources into people like Diddy and people like Dre and people like Master P and they poured more money into hip hop when they realized that hip hop is a form of entertainment that didn't cost as much as R&B. See, the thing is, and I remember when it started making the shift, right? I remember when the budgets started moving around, because when I first got into the industry, hip hop was doing its thing. But again, hip hop is only 50 and I've been in the business for 30 years, right? So hip hop wasn't the cash cow that it is now then. But I did see how hip hop started to become less expensive to create. I did see how it was just easy to go to a street corner in New York or a street corner in LA or a street corner in Detroit, whatever the case may be, right? And have a brother with a story to tell who could put it together in verse, right? I remember in the neighborhood when hip hop first started getting big, brothers would pull out their tile, put in the driveway. Shit, I was writing raps. I was going to be a rapper. What? Y'all don't believe me? Listen to that first Brownstone album. Past 11. I got a whole verse on Past 11. And I think I rapped recently too. I also rapped on Sometimes Dancing. But anyway, I was Miss Melody, baby. But it was different. It was different because what we were talking about and rapping about at the time was getting out, finding a different way. People were talking about doing what they was doing on street corners as a means to an end. As the powers that be started to realize how hip hop was controlling our community, how the narratives and the lifestyle of drinking and partying and having more sex and, doing more skullduggery was making them a lot of money, and they didn't have to invest so much, right? Because keep in mind, You got Whitney Houston and a Mariah Carey, a TLC, a Brownstone, a SWV. You got hair, you got makeup, you got albums, you got producers, you got, you know what I'm saying? With hip hop, you listen, dudes wore what they wore. You had a sample that you had to clear. You know, you had a producer in the basement just banging out some beats, and these guys would go in here and just do it down in one verse. It was a much more practical, financially, way of making a product that ultimately made a lot of money, because there are far more poor people, poor black people, than there are super wealthy black people in this country. So by continuing with the stereotype and the narrative in hip hop, we amplified and multiplied that language. So Diddy was able to sign artist after artist after artist. Dre was able to sign artist after artist after artist. And all those artists are telling stories about being in the trap or being in the hood and selling drugs, doing drugs. Then it started to turn into creating this lifestyle with liquor and video vixens, as they call them. I don't know if y'all read Superhead's book, but Superhead told us about a lot of the stuff we learned about today a long time ago in her book, Confessions of a Video Vixen. And I'm not even going to hold you up. I read that mug from cover to cover in about 3 days, 2 days. Actually, I think it was 2 days, right? And she had a lot to say about what was going on in this industry. And listen, there were always whispers. We always heard that it was like, you know, stuff going on. But again, you couldn't substantiate it. It was just hearsay. And back in the day, we had the Inquirer and we had like certain magazines and shit. But you know, stuff wasn't just on the internet and on social media and instantly available to people. And you could always kill a story and you could always hire a publicist. I mean, for goodness sake, look at what happened with that hotel footage, which is really scary. Because then you start to think about how much power people in that town actually have. Now, I've discovered the hard way how much power people in that town actually have, right? But if you're Puffy or you're a record executive or you're an artist that's making these people a whole lot of money, you can get away with everything. Somebody said, TK Kirkland. What's up, brother? I got to put this one up. He said Diddy was going to slip and slide his ass all the way to Bali with that baby oil. Lord have mercy. What was I'm scared to ask what was going on with the baby oil, y'all. I'm not even going to hold y'all up. And it's like, I'm kind of mad that the baby oil has even come up, because now we can't see past the baby oil. Like, I ain't going to hold y'all up. I keep seeing my brother Terrell on stage in Meet the Browns every time I hear baby oil and a black man on. But anyway, never mind. I'm going the wrong place. So the industry has for years known that it was real inappropriate behavior happening. And my question, and I got to ask because I'm from Detroit and we just ask shit we want to know. Did anybody see this coming? Was everybody shocked and surprised and appalled? How many people heard these stories about Diddy before this particular incident? How many people actually heard about the Diddy parties before this particular incident? And who, if anybody, was there to help protect the artists, the women, right? And I don't know, like this sounds like trafficking and all that other stuff, and RICO and all that other stuff. I ain't no lawyer, I don't know. That sounds really, really like serious. It's like, sounds like some serious shit. But the partying and the after hour shit and the, you know, baby oil, that feels like stuff that has just been going on with a whole lot of people in this industry for a long ass time. And I'm just trying to figure out, Pam says, I've heard that about Diddy for years. Everybody has the same way everybody heard that about R. Kelly for years, right? Latanya says, I was not shocked at all of Diddy's demise. It was coming at some point. Right. Okay. So let me switch gears with y'all for a second real quick. Right. So we knew that this Diddy thing was coming for a while. Well, we didn't know it was coming like it was coming because, baby, it came like a freight train. And I don't know how he's going to manage waiting until this trial comes up, but Jesus, what he must be going through, what his children must be going through. And I'm paying for them kids. I don't care what y'all say. I'm praying for them babies. But let me ask y'all, does it stop with Diddy? Is Diddy going to jail or going to trial the beginning, the middle, and the end of this shit in this industry? Is it? Anybody? I would venture to say hell no. I would venture to say that this is just the tip of the iceberg. I would venture to say that it's a whole lot of people like the monkeys. It's hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. It's a whole lot of people out here pretending like they don't know what's going on and hoping that they're not in that footage. Does this end with Diddy? Is Diddy the alpha and the omega of the inappropriate ass behavior in Hollywood and the music industry? I venture to say no. My next question is, I agree, Pam, 100%. A lot of industry people should be worried right now. And a lot of industry people are worried right now. I mean, for God's sakes, the silence is deafening. It's so loud, I can't hear shit. Ain't nobody talking so much. I mean, I'm telling you, any black man that is powerful and considered a mogul. Okay, prophet sarcastic. Now we talking. Let's get into this sugar honey iced tea. Real Big Coco said Will Smith and Jada. Okay, I'm confused. What about Will? And don't say nothing bad about Will Smith and Jada. No to my people. No, I'm joking, but tell me what you're saying. But let's get real quick into this Prophet Muhammad. Any black man that is powerful and considered a mogul is going to have a downfall. So I had about a 10, 15-minute rant with someone last night because he assumed that I was about to go into the whole, they're always trying to take down a black man. They're always trying to take down a black mogul. Let's be real adults about this shit and say that two things can be true. Two things can be true. Because you can't tell me people didn't know what the hell was going on with our. And listen, when I say people, I don't mean us. Because yes, I knew Rob, I knew Pac, I knew Diddy, I knew all these people. I wasn't cool with them like that, but I knew these people. But I had no idea what was going on in their personal lives or how deep in the business they were embedded with other situations, right? But there are people who do. There are people who work with these people every single day who knew exactly what they were doing. What happens there? How do you address the enablers, as we stated last night? Because the enablers are the reason why these motherfuckers getting away with all this shit. You cannot assume that you fix the problem by putting Diddy in jail. The solution to the problem lies in record labels, entertainment industry executives who have the power to demand better behavior, doing exactly that. If you own a company and you sign an artist to your label or to your company, and that artist is out here doing things to hurt him or herself or other people, don't you think it's time for the labels to step up and have some responsibility in this? I mean, yes, I understand the whole independent contractor thing, which is some bullshit, because you're not an independent contractor when you create something that makes money in perpetuity, forever, forever, ever for somebody. And as I stated last night, artists are essential workers as far as I'm concerned, because imagine a world with no music. Although a world with no gangsta rap, drill rap, and hip hop music might actually be a world that I want to live in. But when you talk about all black men who are moguls being torn down, it is something that we have to really think about, because it has happened literally to almost every successful Black mogul in the industry. Why is it happening? Christopher Smith said the people in his circle and around him, the people on his payroll, knew it. They just didn't want to stop their money. Y'all, this is bigger than employees and people on payroll. This is a much bigger situation than that. I'm not talking about people on Puffy's payroll because you can't tell your boss what to do. I'm saying there are people in powerful positions that had to hear a whisper of some of this egregious behavior. When do those people step in and say, if this does not cease and if this does not stop, your contract with me is over? When somebody comes stumbling into the studio and they can't perform because they high out of their mind, when does somebody say, hey, listen, I signed a contract with you. I gave you a 360 deal. I gave you $1 million and I'm about to make 600 million off of that shit. I need you to get yourself together. I need you to pull it together. I need you to do the job that you came here to do. Is it because we believe that entertainers have to be high in order to be creative? Is it believed that sex, drugs, and rock and roll, that lifestyle, in order to be legit, you have to indulge in that? I think back on the 90s, being in spaces with Jodeci. I think about every member of Jodeci. Right? Let's go back a little bit. Jodeci was probably my favorite group in the world back in the day. I'm a Jodeci Blackstreet. I love female groups too, but Jodeci and Blackstreet was it for me. Right? Jodeci obviously came before Blackstreet. And I think about how talented those brothers were. I think about being on the side of the stage, watching them perform in concerts that we did together. I think about Casey and JoJo, man. And even Dalvin and Devontae. And I remember Devontae, well, let me go back to before it got bad, right? Because I'm going to tell y'all about a situation that I experienced when it was bad. And I was like, ooh, wee. But I just remember Jodeci being one of my favorite groups and how talented they were. And I remember me and Maxie both just like, oh my God. It was like, we'd be like, you're like Maxie, you like KC, JoJo, and I'm like KC, right? And I think about how I watched over the years how the lifestyle of the sex, drugs, and rock and roll changed their gifts and their talent to the point where now I have seen clips of the brothers not even able to make it through songs on stage. And I think to myself, what did they go through that made them go from, oh my God, this is my favorite group in the whole wide world, to what is happening with Jodeci? Like right now, Jodeci would kill in concert if everybody was in tip-top mental, physical, spiritual, space. But they're not. I think about Intro, Kenny Green. I think about so many dope ass. I think about the Fugees. I think about when I first met Lauryn Hill and the Fugees, and I think about when you grow up with people in this industry and like you experience them artistically and creatively in their prime, and then you step away and live your life and go and do your thing, and then you come back years later and you see how the industry has just chewed them up and spit them out. It makes you really wonder what is happening, because these are not isolated incidents. There are fewer artists who are okay mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Thank you, Jesus, in Jesus' name. As much as I'm going through, I don't have a lot of substance abuse issues. Well, I don't have any substance abuse issues. But anyway, I digress. This ain't about me. It's just about looking back at this industry and seeing and following the journey of like really talented people, really talented, amazing, genius artists, and seeing them fall so hard. I remember around the same time that I was talking to R. Kelly about Soul Kitten's Cabaret many years ago before all of the stuff happened with him, and the other stuff. I remember talking to not Dalvin, Devontae. And I remember talking to him on the phone, and I remember him being like really like paranoid. He was just like, "No, you don't understand these." And I'm not gonna go and divulge it. That's kind of whack that I would go into the details of our conversation. So I'm saying that to say he was really paranoid about having not done something that somebody wanted him to do. And I remember that conversation like it was yesterday. And then I saw something today with one of the bloggers where it came up that because he didn't get jumped into a situation, he had to always watch his back. And if I wasn't there, and by jumped in, it's not always like a physical fight jump in. It's like there's something you have to do to be a part of the group of people that are in this in crowd that, have stuff on each other, I guess. And it's like it's a safe word that you get when you do certain shit. And there's a rumor, and I guess I shouldn't talk about rumor and innuendo. I heard that there was something, I guess I'm still talking about rumor and innuendo, stuff like it. I heard that there was something in the situation where he didn't agree to do it. And as a result, things became very difficult for him. I don't know who it was that he was supposed to do it for. I'm not saying it was Diddy. I didn't say none of that. But it was just somebody in the industry that he didn't do something for, allegedly. And I was just like, that's really interesting. And I remember being on a call, and I remember him being very like, since you don't know, this industry is. And I guess I was green because I wasn't involved in that life. I wasn't caught up in all of that shit. And now looking back at it, all these years later, I'm like, damn, I do remember X, Y, Z, A, B, and C. And I always have to ask, why do creatives, Black creatives in particular, always suffer the same fate in the entertainment industry? Every singer is not just predisposed to being a drug addict or alcoholic. Now, yes, we definitely, somebody said buck breaking. I don't know nothing about it, but I don't know nothing about it. I just wonder if there's a way to restore artists in this industry in a way that labels can continue to make money, artists can continue to make money, and also be mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally well. Because this shit is not looking like it's possible. Every peer I know has a grievance about this industry. I don't know one who would say that their experience in entertainment has been inspirational and positive and good. Even the ones that you never hear from being involved in the bull crap are looking at their royalty statements like, what the hell is this? Like I said yesterday, if I sold 3.5 million records at $10 a pop, that's $30 million. Where the rest of my money at? And when the answer to that question is, oh, we don't know what to tell you. That was many, many years ago, and it's on microfiche downstairs in the basement somewhere. And if you want to do an audit, which costs $569,000, then you can do that. And then artists have to deal with it, and they start to self-medicate, and then everything goes downhill from there. Just on the outside looking in, but from my understanding, it's always been that way, dating back to Sammy Davis Jr., Little Richard, and all the rest of them. Ian Core Junkie says, yes, intro, especially Kenny Green. Man, Kenny Green was by far one of the most talented human beings on the planet. Kenny Green was from Detroit. And the industry lost a really talented person when he passed away. Latanya says, I'm praying for his family as well as Diddy. I'm praying for his family as well. Diddy is not by himself. No, he's not by himself at all. It's a whole lot of people out here doing the same thing that Diddy did. And what I hope and pray is that we do get a chance to get a really thorough trial. I'm looking forward to this trial because I feel like there's so many questions that need to be answered. And I'm hoping to God that we get answers to some of these questions because Diddy ain't the only one. And as a matter of fact, speaking of Diddy not being the only one, oh, let me do this real quick. Get this little housekeeping taken care of real fast. What time I'm at? Oh, I'm almost at an hour. I've been rambling. Tiffany Red. Tiffany Red is a sister who has been speaking out for artists and for creatives, and her perspective on Diddy. She said, "Today, I feel a little safer knowing Sean Combs is behind bars. I'm grateful that the U.S. Attorney for Southern District of New York and Homeland Security for stepping in and showing Mr. Combs and the music industry, which enabled him, that they're not above the law." Very good point, Tiffany. This past year has been incredibly stressful and terrifying at times, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to free myself from all these dark experiences. While co creating Cassie's sophomore album, this is Cassie's friend, Tiffany. While co creating Cassie's sophomore album, I was degraded by Sean Combs, deceived by him, his team, and record labels about music being released. I was exposed to Diddy's abuse of Cassie and others in her circle, and I unknowingly consumed something laced, without my consent, at his Homely Hills home studio while writing for Cassie back in 2017. I'll never forget screaming, "What is in this?" I knew instantly after smoking that joint that something was wrong. I got away that night by the grace of God, but I'm hunted by things that I can't remember about that evening. Ooh. No one should have to endure this kind of trauma to pursue success in this industry. We all deserve better. Wow. So, the other side of this is that there are people who have been hurt by Diddy. Um, you can't get back that time. And Tiffany, I'm really sorry that you had to experience that. And it's a lot of other people who have had to experience Diddy in ways that I can't even imagine. And I'm sorry that this industry has enabled him. And that's exactly what has happened. And I hope that we really get to the bottom of the enablers, because the enablers make it very, very easy for these people to get away with it for years and years and years. Imagine you're lacing people's joints, you're lacing people's drinks, you're allegedly doing these things. All of that stuff was alleged. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. By the way, Tiffany, I love you, girl, but you know, honey, I'm in a whole lawsuit, so I got to say allegedly. All of the things that I'm saying here today are all alleged. Entertainment purposes and what is it? Yeah, all of that. Fair use, the whole 9 yards. Because baby, these days you can't say shit if it's not throwing the table and talking down to a black woman. Ain't that something? You can't get away with saying the F word. You can't get away with saying the R word. You can't get away with saying sex. See, I almost said it. S-aid. But baby, if you throw a black woman down a flight of stairs, if you call her a bi, if you tell her she's a ratchet hoe. Speaking of, did y'all see Boosie? Oh my God, Lord Jesus. Let me read this. Hold on. And you know what? I think Boosie is so funny. There are times when I just see the brother and I just be like, he's so funny. But I need to read this because I don't know if y'all saw it, and we finna read it. Do you think that this is learned behavior? Ooh, this is, we gonna get back to Boosie because I want to respond to Pam's question real quick. I'm gonna find Boosie. Pam Esquire says, do you think that this is learned behavior from Diddy, from the industry, people that mentored him? Let me say this. I have heard that since Howard and since interning at certain labels, that there's been a certain kind of behavior associated with Diddy. This is what I think happens. I think as you become an adult, you have to make a decision about things that you may have learned as a child or as a younger person. I think that at some point in your life, everybody knows the difference between right and wrong. What I think happened is I think that like recognizes like. And what I know happens in this industry, I've been at a party where Trey's of unmentionables have been going around the room, and I'm like, what? Hell no. Are you? Is that? And like, shh, 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 this is not that party. And exited stage right. Now, if I had decided that I was going to partake in the party favors that were being floated around on the tray, then that would have been a check. Okay, we got her. She likes nose candy, and she likes this, and she likes that. So, do I think that he was? Do I think that he was groomed? I don't know, because I've heard rumors that he was kind of living his life like it's golden for like a while, right? Do I think that he was recognized as one of those people that if you pour more resources into, they will multiply the behavior? Absolutely. Do I think that he was recognized early on as one of them? For sure. There are simple tests that this industry can give you to determine whether or not you're going for the okie doke. And I think that he passed all those tests with flying colors. I think that he passed some tests with flying colors, and I think that he solidified his place among the people who wanted to amplify that lifestyle. I think that's why he had a liquor brand, and I think that's why he had labels, and I think that he had a constant flood of financial resources and support because they recognized that that was the guy, the go-to. They recognized that he was like kind of like the Pied Piper. And I hate to turn this into an R. Kelly situation, but kind of feel like he was the Pied Piper. I kind of feel like they knew that he would definitely be great. He was bait. He was bait. And then I think once he becomes bait and he brings in somebody else who's another fisherman out there, that person goes out and that person signs this artist and does this. It's just a vicious cycle that continues. And once you know that you have, it's like a vampire, right? It's like a vampire. It's like a disease. It's like a pandemic. Like once you got a carrier, then you can infect everybody. And I think Diddy was a carrier. Now, let me make sure that I fix this up real quick before it's a clip going around on the internet of me saying Diddy is a carrier. That's not what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. I think Diddy was a tool that was used by the culturally incompetent white male power structure because he was given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Now, whether or not these people knew of all the dirty, dastardly deeds that he was doing, I have no idea. I wasn't there. I'm not saying that. I'm saying everybody had an idea because we all knew about a Diddy party, and he kept getting more opportunity. Who did not keep getting more opportunity are the people who were actually trying to develop artists and grow our community. Y'all know that's why everybody says after the 90s, there was no more good music. There was no more good music after the 90s because Diddy and hip hop and gangsta rap took over everything. When Biggie and Pac, rest in peace, when they passed away, it didn't stop no money from coming in. If anything, the fact that they passed away created more opportunities for revenue. Eureka. We don't even need these niggas and we can still get some money. So, yeah, I think we throw things up against the wall and we see what sticks. And it doesn't matter what it does to the Black community. And it's sad because our community so desperately needs guidance and we so desperately need positive role models. Like, who do we look to now? The industry don't have no leadership. The entertainment industry as it stands, who is in a position of leadership? Like, it wasn't so long ago we were dogging Will Smith. every major artist, mogul, person that we admired, that we looked up to, that we were proud to call a member of our community that made it, every single one of them got the rug snatched up from under them. Now, it doesn't happen as much with women because history has shown that women just don't engage in those types of diabolical, I mean, some, but as a general rule, most serial killers ain't black women, and most misogynists and, chauvinists are not black women. And we definitely ain't Karens. So if we had more women of color in power, I feel like a lot of these issues that have become rampant in the industry would not exist. Just like Dolores Tucker said, if the founding fathers were the founding mothers, things would be very different. Very, very different. This patriarchal society that we live in, where men who don't give a about us control everything, we created that monster ourselves. And the reason I say that is because, you guys, we control where they invest their dollars. We control how much they multiply the products that we create and the things that we do. And by Diddy showing them that hip hop and those narratives are easy to produce, cheap to produce, and the community is going to eat it up, we gave them license to give us nothing but that. There was a time in the music industry when black people and people of color were admired for how talented and creative that we are. I was talking to a friend of mine that's a program director today, and she said that the songs are now like 1 minute and 30 seconds. And it's and lyrically, the lyrical content of those songs are trash. Think about it. Hold on, let's do this right here together. That's Entertainment says, Nikki, I agree with you. If we had more women in leadership in the music industry, we would not have all these issues. Okay. What record label was Diddy on? Hold on, record label Diddy. Hold on, you guys. Somebody might already know, but I'm trying to see. Oh, he's been on a lot of them, but most recently, he's been a part of the Universal Music Group umbrella, right? I think the 3 companies are Universal, Warner, and Sony or some shit. I don't know. But think about all the artists that are on these labels. Most of the artists on these labels are hip hop artists. Most of the biggest artists on the planet right now are hip hop artists. Believe it or not, there was a time in this industry where R&B artists actually mattered, where, talent actually mattered. And when he was on Bad Boy, but I think Bad Boy was distributed through another label. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it's a UMG. He's a UMG artist. And UMG has everybody, right? Let's look at the UMG roster. Hold on. UMG roster. Okay. Universal Music Group. Okay, that's publishing. Hold on. Which Universal Music Group artist. Oh, they got a long list of artists. Okay. Hold on. Usually on the page, they got the main ones. I'm trying to find the main ones. Look, they make it hard. Anywho, and I actually, because of the topic of this conversation, maybe I shouldn't go naming the artists, but it's a ton of them. And a ton of them are hip hop artists. And a ton of them are, you got 2 Chainz, you got Tupac. And what's crazy is Tupac is still listed as an artist on UMG. That's what I mean when I say making money forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. 6 Lack, 50 Cent, Aerosmith, ABBA, Amy Winehouse, Aretha Franklin, Ashanti. They got everybody. It's a ton of hip hop artists, the Beastie Boys. Bobby Brown is a UMG artist, right? Boyz II Men are UMG artists. So the label, The Block is Hot, for sure. Speaking of The Block is Hot, you guys, let me read this because this is I pulled this up. Kevin Liles, people. Kevin Liles done left the building. Literally, Kevin Liles has left the building. I'm going to read this to you guys. I don't know what is going on, but I have a feeling that more and more people are going to start exiting stage right. So, in an internal note to staff obtained by Billboard. I'm sorry, Kevin Liles will step down from his role as chairman and CEO of 300 Entertainment at the end of September. The respected label executive announced on Tuesday, September 17th, which I think was the day of Diddy, that whole thing. In an internal note to staff obtained by Billboard, Lau said that he would be departing as CEO of Warner Brothers' own label at the end of the month, but staying on as a consultant through the year. WMG CEO Robert Kinkle, I guess that's his name, called Lau's an extraordinary brand builder, artist advocate, and champion of creative expression, and announced that he has decided not to replace the role. Adding that 300 will continue to have first-class leaders and co-presidents Ryan Bass, Celine Baub, and Greg Nadell. Now, what I find very interesting is that I don't know who any of these people are. And that's one of the things that I think has worked for that community. You know, they're not all up in the videos dancing, as Suge Knight would say it. Yes, thank you so much, you guys. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so the algorithm knows that you're actually enjoying this content. Thank you, guys. I'm really shocked to see I got so many people watching me on Twitter. Elon. Come on, X. And Worth TV YouTube. I really appreciate it. And thank you to everybody watching me over here on my Instagram. But long story short, it looks like our boy is leaving. The changes at 300 followed. Ooh. Okay, so some more people left. The changes at 300 followed the departures of WMG CEO of Recorded Music, Max Lusauda. I hope I'm saying that right. And longtime Atlantic leader, Julie Greenwald. Announcement that 10K Projects founder Elliot Grange will be taking over as CEO of the new look AMG at the end of the month. Oh, okay. So Elliot Grange is taking over CEO of AMG. So you guys listen. Let me read the letter. This is the letter from Kevin Liles' team. From the start of 300 was centered around the idea that when you intensely focus on servicing artists and the culture, good things happen. When we combine that intention with our fearlessness, creativity, and passion, it unlocks greatness and deliver impact. Next month, 300 will be celebrating its 10th anniversary of greatness and impact, and I wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude to our team, blah, 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 blah. Basically, he leaving. I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know if I'll be back again. Kevin Liles is out of there. I don't know why. And I'm not going to speculate. Maybe people are just tired. I don't know. But I will tell you this. The entertainment industry, Black music in particular, has taken a hit. We have taken a tremendously devastating hit. Because what else is there, y'all? I'll wait. I mean, think about it. Do we just go back to business as usual? And what is the business? Like, you can't release a record. Let me tell y'all something. Let me give y'all some inside baseball on this shit. Artists cannot make money from streaming unless you stream 500 million records. Period. Creatives and artists don't make money from streaming new music unless you stream hundreds of millions of streams on a record. People's attention spans are too short, so they're not listening to long-ass songs. People are uninspired by a lot of what they've heard on the radio. And these big companies monopolize the Spotify and Apple Music charts and shit. You just can't come up in there with a good song and think that it's going to reach the people. Just like when I go on my live and there's 5 people on my live, there is something called an algorithm. Thank you so much, Pam, for reminding me. These algorithms are set up to do whatever the OODA, the owners of the algorithm, put into the system and tell them to do. That's why it's so important for y'all to hit like. That's why it's so important for you guys to go to WIRFTV.com, which is our streaming platform. Just in case YouTube start acting funny and people start acting funny, we got to have our own little situation. WIRFTV.com, Women in Reality Film TV.com. It's a web-based streaming app. It's all kind of shit on there for y'all to watch, but I digress. Creators and artists, and then there's that, here we go. That's exactly what I mean. We have got to figure out new ways to get our product, our gifts, our talents to the people, because it's just not working the old way. Selling records out your trunk is not. When last time you seen somebody selling albums out their trunk? And can you sell enough records out your trunk to feed your family and pay your mortgage? And then we start talking about we want ownership of our IPs and ownership of our masters and ownership of our music. It doesn't matter if you have ownership of your master, but the person who owns the space, the store, the record store that is actually the virtual streaming platform ain't going to give you no shelf space. And shelf space comes in the form of when you log on to those streaming apps, you see your favorite artist front and center. So you know their music is there. So artists and creatives have to figure out a new way to make a living. All the while, the legacy artists, let me put y'all up on a little bit of game. And these people gonna probably hate that I'm saying this. And something gonna go wrong with my shit in the next couple of days. But y'all know I'm gonna let y'all know about it. I'm gonna tell y'all what Boosie said. Yeah, somebody on my IG over here wants to know what Boosie said. I'm gonna pull that up in a minute. But let me say this. So I'm very proud to say, and I've said it before, and if you've heard it before, just bear with me. But I'm very proud to say that Sony has started taking some steps in the direction of trying to have a more amicable relationship with legacy artists. I reached out to them about a year and a half ago or so because I did not see the receipts. I said, show me the receipts, show me the receipts. I did not see the receipts. So my question was, in the 90s, when I put out my music, streaming did not exist. It was not a thing. Nobody said, hey, you're going to be streaming music from out of thin air. So how is it possible that any contract that I signed with you addressed streaming? Y'all see what I'm saying? It's impossible for you to have a contract that includes a method of distribution that did not exist. So my conversation with them was, can we talk about how we address this streaming thing? Because you and I both didn't even know that streaming was ever going to be a thing. So how can you hold me accountable or say we have a deal in place that tells me how much money I get from streaming my content if that didn't exist at the time we did our agreement? And Sony acknowledged that there is a point there. So now every legacy artist, as a result of just inquiring and asking the right questions, they have a program where we now see a percentage of the streams that we get, because it is the catalog, right? The older records that have been around forever, ever, that are actually generating revenue for creatives and for artists. And I would like to say that one minor change has made me more hopeful that eventually we'll get around to them 3.5 million albums that are sold at $10 a pop and at $30 million. And at the very least, wipe that slate clean. But at least the record companies are having those conversations because they realize if an artist put out a record right now, even if you got 200,000 or 300,000 followers, let's say you got 1 million followers. If 10 or 15,000 people stream that record, you still ain't making enough money to pay your rent that month. Because the streaming companies who own the platforms have decided how much they're going to pay you for every record that you stream. We've streamed 100 million plus times. I think it was Biz Markie, rest in peace. I think it was his partner who posted that he had 500 million streams. But that 500 million streams only adds up to the number that the owner of the platform decided he's going to pay for those 500 million streams. And you could say, well, fine, I'm going to take my record and I'm going to take my shit, which our sister India Ari, she did. Nope, you're not going to just stream my stuff and tell me what you're going to pay me. But then if the streaming company that everybody's listening to doesn't have your music, you're not making money at all. So you have to choose between accepting the price that they decided they was going to pay you for your shit or just not getting any money at all. Go figure. What do you do with that? And the reason we've been allowed to do, or they've been allowed to do that, is because people are afraid to speak truth to power. Because people are afraid to ask the right questions. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. Once upon a time, true story. Let me pull up this Boosie things because some second person asked me about this. Once upon a time, I Boosie Badass and Diddy. I'm gonna say y'all my once upon a time story, and I'm gonna read what Boosie had to say. And I'm gonna try to read it in Boosie voice because I'm a comedian. Some of y'all might have already seen this. Now I'm gonna get into the Tommy. Hold on, Tommy Mottola. Let me tell y'all my Tommy Mottola story. Okay, so Boosie Badass claims that Diddy got arrested for doing what every other famous entertainer has done. I feel Diddy in jail for basically, no, let me just read it right because I don't want to piss Boosie off. He said, I feel Diddy is in jail for basically doing what every other famous entertainer has done. The 41-year-old rapper wrote on X, formerly Twitter, flew inches out for threesomes that he just a little freakier, says the Baton Rouge native. He questioned whether or not the women who consented to be flown out and having sex with partners were to be called prostitutes. If that was the case, then he believed the label should have been given to more women. If that's the case, like 80% of the women reading this is in trafficking. You're a celebrity, you got to fly in your PUSSY. How else you going to get your PUSSY? You're never in one place. When I saw that video, I was pissed off. And I said, this ninja, like he really got a problem. But facing life in prison for doing basically what so many other entertainers has done, I disagree. I'm starting to feel like this ex-trafficking charge is flying. I'm sorry, this ex-trafficking charge for flying itches for some threesomes is going to be a tool used to take down hip-hop artists and celebrities. Just think about it. Just think about it. Who flying they yeah-yeahs to turn up? Who always in a different city got to fly PUSSY to them? Who ain't tripping? Okay, so yeah. So basically, Boosie's saying, in a nutshell, in summation, Boosie basically saying that ain't nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. I think it's bigger than that. I want to believe that Homeland Security and all of these people that have decided that they're going to lock this brother up, I feel like they got a whole lot more than just flying in some you know what. And I think that, while we all find humor in Brother Boosie, it's a very serious issue when our brothers in the industry start to condone certain behavior. I'm not saying that Boosie's saying he condoned it because he didn't say that. What he said was, I feel like a lot of people are going to be in trouble because it's a lifestyle that's been going on for a whole lot of years. And I just want to see that it's not just the artist and the people of color and the black men, because I'm sure there's a whole lot of people out here in these streets that are not artists and creatives and black men that are out here doing the same thing. And I understand that a lot of people get irritated when we start speaking that they trying to take down the black man stuff, but it should be cleaned up across the board. The same people have been in power for years and years and years. Hey, buddy. Same people been in power for years and years and years. And it's going to be even worse. What? Come on, dude. Hold on. Here we go with this one. Come on, buddy. A mastiff mom, y'all. It's going to get worse if we don't start checking it. A lot of artists from the 90s are owed some royalty checks. Yep. I mean, think about it. We sold 3.5 million records. TLC sold 350 million records or some shit like that. Think about all the money. And here's the thing, guys. And this applies to Diddy too. And then I'm trying to wrap my long-winded ass up. People forget how young most of us were in the 90s, right? We're in our 50s now, which means that back in the 90s, we were in our 20s. So there was a certain amount of grooming that was going on, right? If you're a young man in the industry and you got hella testosterone and you party, 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 let's all get wasted and sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and an adult who knows better with a lot of money and a lot of power and a lot of respect encourages that behavior, rewards that behavior, what they gonna do? They're gonna keep doing things that give them rewards and give them accolades and give them power. That's it. Young, impressionable minds who are constantly looking for, and most of us, here's the thing, y'all. This is another thing that I think a lot of people forget. Most of us come from neighborhoods and families and communities where we didn't have a lot, right? We're really good at entertaining. We're really good at singing, dancing, pulling out a magic trick if we need to. And now you have these really powerful, wealthy people who are dangling carrots in front of people who come from not having a whole lot, giving you every reason to acquiesce to whatever it is they want you to do. Because you're going to be rewarded. You're going to travel the country. You're going to have an opportunity to change not just your life, but your mom's life, your community's life. And you can always say no, but then you go back to having less than. You go back to not having had the opportunity that was right in front of you. If you had just made the decision to take a bite out of the apple. Entertainment industry is Sodom and Gomorrah. Oh my goodness. I see y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you, Pam. Thank you to my YouTube family. I love y'all. Thank y'all. And Instagram, y'all know. I love y'all too. I promise I do. But baby, YouTube got my heart. YouTube got my heart. Thank you for everybody who came over. Thank you, Pam, for sending people over. I really appreciate that. So yeah, we're young, impressionable Black folks who unfortunately had a lot of powerful, wealthy, non-Black folks presenting a lot of opportunities to us and using people like Diddy to go out and round us up and sign a bunch of contracts that weren't good for us and party, party, party and forget. You know, most of us didn't understand how to take care of our finances. Most of us didn't understand, how to set up trust. You're 23, you're 24, you're 25. What do these young people think about how young Tupac and Biggie were when they passed away? We don't know shit. We know nothing, y'all. We know absolutely nothing at that age. So we do lean on the people who do know better. And I'll never forget my lawyer, my business manager, our label head, our publisher, everybody knew each other. And they were good people. We didn't have a lot of those issues. I mean, we didn't know no better, so who knows? But, on the face of it, they took care of us. When I look back and I looked at our contract of the bad contracts, because we were signed to Michael Jackson, there were certain things he looked out for on our agreements with us, right? Our rates were already a little higher than some other folks, We were able to write most of our records, right? I wrote 80 some percent of the records. Nobody came in and said, hey, write this, but let this person take credit for it. Well, a couple times, I have to say. I wrote a little closer to 90, 95%, but I got credit for about 80, 85%. But who was arguing that and being the difficult one? We don't know going into this industry what to ask for. Our parents don't know. Our friends don't know. Who else gets a record deal with Diddy? Who else gets a record deal with Michael Jackson? Who else gets a record deal with, Master P? All of these people who we've been conditioned to believe are like, oh my God, that's what I want to be when I grow up. And then 30 years later, you discover that it's all been a sham. Diddy don't own Ciroc. 50 don't own power. No black person really owns anything in this industry. We're all high paid marketers of the shit. And when you grow a brain and you decide that, oh my goodness, thank you guys, Law Intellects, for coming to hang out. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, thank y'all. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to be paying attention to these things, but let me reset the room. Ann says, I just have been so sad thinking about all the women who are going to relive. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But you know what, you guys? As sad as this situation is with Puff, I think that this is a day of reckoning that has been coming for a long time. I feel bad for his daughters. I feel bad because they have to now grow up having thought that their lives were set because of who their parents were. And now, instead of their lives being set forever based on who their parents were, they have been set up for a real struggle. Just like the victims and anybody else who's been a victim of this crazy, horrendous shit. But I think we have to always keep that in mind when we're thinking about these celebrities, their children, because I think about Bobby Christina and what happened with her. I think about so many other child performers. I'm thinking about how many people that have worked with Diddy as children and younger folks, how many of those people may have been impacted by his decisions. I got friends in this industry work very closely with Diddy, and everybody's just in a state of shock. So it's not a good situation for anybody. I hope that everybody pays for what has happened, not just Diddy. And by them saying, Pam, maybe you can let us know what they mean when they say RICO. But I feel like, or racketeering, but I feel like there's a whole lot of other people that may potentially be going down with brother Combs. Andre says, I pray he set up trust for them before all of this went down. Yeah, I pray that he set up trust for them as well. But I think what we're learning, I think the other thing that this Diddy thing has taught us is that money don't mean shit without your freedom and your peace of mind. Period. Money means nothing. We all thought that Diddy's life was gravy. And just overnight, the rug has been pulled out from under him. And unfortunately, he is sitting in a jail cell thinking about all of that shit that he did and all of his so-called friends that are not showing up for him because everybody is waiting for the ball to drop on their asses. And it's a lot of people out here that we're going to find out about. Pam Esquire sending everybody, come on, Pam. Thank you. Thank you, Pam, Law Intellect, everybody. Look, I looked up and I said, I just got an influx of people on my live. This is what it's all about. Pam, I really appreciate that. Thank you to all of the Law Intellect people who are coming to hang out. I really appreciate you guys. My heart is so full. Thank y'all. I'm just sharing all of these old war stories, hoping that everybody got sent by Pam. Pam, you ball it, girl. Detroit girls hustle harder. What? Definitely going to lunch, girl. Definitely going to lunch, Pam. Where are we going? Pick the spot. For sure. But I just, get on here and share these moments and share my war stories and whatnot. Not because I want sympathy or to play the small violin, and not because I want to bash Puffy or anybody else, but because I want us to be straightforward and honest about what's happening now, what happened then, and if there is a way out of it where more creatives are taken care of, right? Because, and by taken care of, I mean, not just financially, you guys. This is not just about money, because it's a whole lot of rich people jumping off the thing in here and in here. It's a lot going on. Christopher said Diddy may start to snitch. Yeah. I have a feeling that Diddy is going to probably, well, you know what? At the end of the day, here's the thing. He might not have to do much snitching because it sounds to me like the feds got everything on tape. And that might very well be the reason why Brother Combs is like, because you're going to see the tape. And I don't know that the world is ready for all the faces that may be revealed on these freak off tapes. The industry is on fire. Yeah. No pun intended. I think it's safe to say that women are not protected in this industry at all. I agree with you 100%. Women are not protected in this industry on any level. Misogyny and, you know, male dominance and all of that other stuff has been a part of it since day one. And unfortunately, it's taken this situation for people to understand just how bad it is. Right? We've been saying this for years. Think about all of the artists who didn't want to participate in the freak offs. Think about all the artists who didn't want to get quote unquote jumped in to be a part of the in crowd, right? And how difficult their journey was as well. It's a really sad story when you're in a situation where you grow up believing that you're going to share your gift with the world, only to discover that unless you're sharing your ass with your gift, ain't nothing coming. And that's just terrible. The music that we listen to, the images and the narratives that we have been endorsing and supporting is just toxic, you guys. Listen, I love, yeah, Glow, get them, Glow. But if I look up and I see, an inappropriate post or inappropriate pose or inappropriate, as an auntie, I should be able to say that from a place of love. And sis, it's not going to age well. But these artists have just been given this license to just be as disrespectful as they want to, and they hot and you not. And nobody will ever be more popular than Prince or Michael Jackson or Whitney Houston. And they died disappointed in this industry. They died feeling like this industry let them down and had so much more to offer that they were never able to receive. So to young creatives, I challenge you. Take a step back and listen to your elders, because we know more than you want to give us credit for, and we don't have anything to gain by your demise. Somebody said, I want to hear from Mary J. Blige. Imagine Mary is probably processing this whole thing, because Mary and Diddy had a great relationship based on all the things that we could see. I saw a clip with Tracee Ellis Ross and Diddy, and it's funny. In the clip, Tracee Ellis Ross is supposed to be taking a shot with him, but she like, baby, I can't. She did one of these. Oh, that's too much. I can't do that. Like, yeah, girl. Yeah, Glow. Yeah, I don't know that I would have been drinking nothing either. But hey, who knows? And again, I don't want this to turn into another situation where we watch this trial play out and then nothing happens after that. Nothing. The victims don't get any kind of restitution. We don't have, this industry has to figure out how to fix this problem. And I believe it's fixable. I believe that if the industry is honest and transparent about what has happened over the last 30 years and how to avoid that from happening 30 years from now, then we might be able to fix the issue. I think that reparations is due for women in this industry, definitely for all the victims. Terrible entertainment industry should be held accountable for the many people they have drugged and manipulated through the years. Yep, I couldn't agree more. When I got on here talking about Whitney Houston a couple years ago and how the industry should have mandatory drug testing, people was like, girl, you crazy, it'll never happen. And I asked, what job do you work at where you can get the job without having some kind of drug test, some kind of background check? That's not how the entertainment industry works. And it's crazy because the entertainment industry is one that where artists make money for the business in perpetuity forever, and they just do not care. So I think one of the solutions is for us to have a think tank with some of these powers that be and really sit down and talk about how we can get more women, more Black women in particular, in positions of real power, not answering to a culturally incompetent white male lens, but actually in a position where they don't have to answer to nobody. And I guarantee you, just like Kamala Harris is going to fix this country, Black women will be able to fix this whack ass industry. I promise you that. Tasia Labrie said people be on drugs on set. Absolutely. Right? And I'm going to get into this P Valley thing for y'all real quick. I'm going to just dip into the P Valley waters. That is an example of what I mean when I say toxic, destructive narratives that are driven by a culturally incompetent male lens. White male, typically. We don't need any more stories about pimps up, hoes down. We don't need to see another Black woman sliding down a pole. We don't need to see another little murder. We don't need to see another drop it low and spread it wide. The Black community has had enough of that for the next 30 years, period. So anybody who continues to drive those narratives, especially after seeing how toxic and destructive Diddy has been in this industry, and the industry, the culture that he contributed to, created this narrative. It just needs to go away for a minute. It just needs to take a seat, take a break. We done seen enough tits and ass to last us a lifetime. Oh my God! What? Stop playing. Would you quit? How do I do this super chat thing? I don't even know how to do this. Pam, Law Intellect, just gave me a super chat for $50. I'm geeked. Girl, shot of Fago on me, Detroit's finest. Cheers. Wow. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Soul Power. Thank you. Baby, we gonna sit that. I don't know how to do it, but we gonna sit that right there. My first ever super chat for $50. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. I love it. I don't know how to act because I'm new to this. So thank you. I really appreciate it. I really, really, really appreciate it. Yeah, guys, I hope that the industry sees this as an opportunity to fix the problem. I hope that the industry sees this as an opportunity to at least listen to those of us who've been around long enough. And it's going to take people who have been in it for a long time, because we know what it needs to get back to. And I understand that we're all excited about going forward and how AI is coming and the future is this and the future is that. But some shit you need to leave well enough alone. Yeah? Some things you need to just go back to the old way, right? When we look at Asian culture and African culture and Jewish culture and all these other cultures where they preserve the legacies of their greatness, the things that matter and are important, right? We don't see monks changing the way they dress and changing their vibes to fit the times. I think as a Black community, music and art, like I said last night about Frankie Beverly, I'm hot. Y'all Pam done got me hot with this $50 super chat. Baby, Pam sent me here. Please take a minute to like this video. Thank y'all. Oh my God, I love the intellects. Y'all are reminding me of all the things that I don't know. I mean, that I be forgetting. I know I be forgetting. So please like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. This long-winded ass video. I think we need to get back in this industry to quality. I think we need to get back to honor. I think we need to get back to respecting women. I think we need to get back to loving on each other. Love songs are important. You know, those songs that motivate us when we get up and get ready and go to work every day are important. Those songs that tell stories about our culture that are real and authentic and genuine and supportive of one another are so important. This Diddy thing is terrible. It's a tremendous blow to the industry, but it's a wake up call, I believe. And it's an opportunity for all of us to learn from it, because Diddy was the top of the mountain as far as black music and entertainment was concerned. Diddy was cool with everybody, which is kind of crazy. Because, I mean, what do you do with all your Diddy pictures and videos? Y'all thought R. Kelly was the situation? Diddy was cool with everybody. There's a lot of folks. She said Pam gave poor Nikki a hot flash. You sure did. We need to get back to common sense, self-respect, and protection of women. 100%. I agree with you 100%. We need to get back to common sense, self-respect, and protection of women, especially black women, because music is how we've always communicated, you guys. Now, I hate to take y'all back, to cotton fields and whips and chains, but when we were in those spaces, it was music, song, communicating that way. Of course, the Bible, but music. When you hear Martin Luther King talk about the civil rights movement, talks about how important music was to that movement. Music creates the soundtrack of our lives. I looked up and saw the people in New Orleans doing a tribute for Mr. Frankie Beverly, which, by the way, Friday, everybody's wearing white in honor of Frankie Beverly. Make sure y'all get y'all white. I know it's after Labor Day, but y'all still need to wear y'all white in honor of Frankie Beverly. Music has been the way that we have communicated messages in our community for many, many years. And it is just really sad that we have no control over the thing that we are best at. Right? I mean, black people are so smart, and lawyers and doctors and teachers and all that. But where we really excel in the area of sports and entertainment, where we have the highest number of black billionaires, we have to be in a space of preserving that. We have to be in a space of protecting that, right? We have to get back to taking care of each other, because our community has lost every major player: Whitney, Prince, Michael, Bob, Biggie, Pac, Nipsey. Like, all of our prophets, all of our heroes from the hood, all of our, the best of the best, they're no longer here. And I think we dishonor their legacies if we don't speak up and use this as an opportunity to learn and to sit down and have real conversations with people in power. People who don't look like us, people who don't have our lived experiences, people who probably don't really care that much about us. But our power is in the dollars that we spend, the time that we spend on these social sites that drive ad dollars. That's my dog telling me I've been rambling too long. We have the economic power collectively. We might not have a lot as individuals. Some of us might be out here on the struggle bus. $600,000 to Lionsgate. But collectively, we have the power to demand the respect that we deserve. And I think this Puffy thing is going to change the industry in a positive way once we get through the muck. Please like this video, share this video. Kim says, yes, especially that. We're just tired. As a woman, I'm tired of being a target. I'm tired of not being protected. I agree with you. I am too. We all are. And this Diddy thing is going to be triggering for a lot of people. So we have to pray for the victims, you guys. We have to pray for the industry. The industry influences too many people. Every time I see Cardi B or Lizzo or one of these artists out here who have tens of millions of followers having an episode in social media, I think to myself, wow, I hope that they get the help that they need, because there's so many young women out there that are following them that will be impacted by the things that they put out in social media, the things that they say about themselves and other people. And when you have that much power, where you got 30, 40 million people paying attention to what you do, you have to really be more responsible with it. And if you don't have the ability to make better decisions for yourself, I think the industry that put you on and gave you access to all of those tens of millions of followers should step up, because they certainly have the resources to help these artists get the help that they need so that they can live longer, healthier lives, right? Black artists have really suffered in the entertainment industry tremendously. It's crazy how many people we've lost. I feel like we have lost, I mean, what else is there? Somebody tell me. I don't see it. I don't see it. So I hope the industry decides during this process to ride with us. But if they do not, I'm going to leave y'all with this. Create your own shit. It's going to be a long, hard road. But you'll get people like Pam, the law intellect, and her crowd that'll come through and support you on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter. And I'm not going to neglect my Instagram people, because today we balling. We got a whole 20-something people on this mug out of 200,000. But the UDA ain't going to let us do it easy. It's going to require us to drive the point home day after day, night after night. Talk to the people who come to hear you. Share the message. Hope that they share the message. And we have to be unafraid to speak truth to power. That is the biggest issue that we are facing, not just in the entertainment industry, but in the Black community as a whole. We are afraid that if we tell the truth and shame the devil, that either we won't work, we got to keep our head on the swivel, we got to do all that shit anyway. It's going to be what it's going to be, irregardless. Don't y'all hate that word? Irregardless, it's going to be what it's going to be. So you might as well take the high road and take the risk and have faith in God. This is a powerful, powerful moment. I pray for Kendrick Lamar's protection, because he has revealed a lot in his songs. Yes, he has. And here's the thing. When people come out here, artists, creatives go against the grain, and they speak truth to power, your support is so important. Praying for them is good, but actively supporting people who are out here risking everything to bring you real, authentic, helpful, useful information. Because a lot of y'all are just learning what so many of us have known for years, which is that this industry ain't shit but smoke and mirrors. And most of these people that you have deified are broke, and struggling. And if what has happened recently with Puffy is not enough proof, I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, go down the list of all your favorite artists. They're all most of them are with the ancestors. The ones that are still here, protect the people. Protect the people by sharing the message, amplifying the positive, and eliminating all the garbage. What that man said, that's why he doesn't break his neck to drop, because he won't lose his soul. Yep, absolutely. Kendrick. Hello, everyone. I found your channel from Pam. You guys, thank y'all so much. A new subscriber here. Thank you for speaking on this. You are appreciated. Thank y'all. I'm getting better. I'm learning how to remember to tell y'all to press like and subscribe. I'm also learning, I thought I was learning how to be not so long-winded, but I've seen some people do 3 and 4 hour lives, so I guess 2 ain't so bad. I'm not going to hold you guys up. It is 12 o'clock. This has been fun. I'm so grateful. Pam, the law intellect, you and your people showed up and showed out for me tonight. I thank y'all so much. And since y'all here, I'm gonna give y'all a little 1-2 before I go off. I'm only 26 years old, and I can't relate to today's music. I like music from the 90s, 80s, and 70s. Well, boom, this is for you. I'm gonna give y'all a little something. Y'all ready? Why not? Why not? Because I know I've been talking a lot, but y'all know in real life I'm a singer. I don't want to rain on this parade, but I'm starting to question the love that was made. I'm not looking for just an affair. I want a love that is based on truth, not just dare. You will not hurt my pride if y'all know the rest. Anyway, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Instagram. Thank you, Twitter. Thank you, YouTube. I really appreciate you guys. I am traveling this weekend, so that's why I wanted to hold on, go live and get these all in, and they're long-winded, and go back and look and have a good time. But I appreciate you guys, and let's pray for the entertainment industry. Let's pray for these babies. Let's pray for these victims, and let's pray for Puff. Because at the end of the day, the reason why people go to jail is so they could be rehabilitated. So let's hope that he gets rehabilitated. And let's pray that he makes it to the trial so that we can find out what everybody else who's been involved in this has to say about it. And like that DA or whatever you call him said, nothing is off the table. So hopefully they're going to dig deep and find the infestation. And once you find it, we start healing. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, Pam, for the super chat. I'm going to text you because I'll be there next week. Okay, guys, please say a prayer for my sister, Debbie. And I love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. It's nice with Nikki. Let's go. Nikki, let's go.